This is Eagle Owl, and today we'll be talking about Quinyon Mitchell. Yes, should he go into the slot? Also, we got to talk about Milton Williams. An extension might be coming up. And lastly, did Darius Slay fall off a cliff? But let's get straight into it. All right, man. So let's hop straight into it. Let's talk about Quinyon Mitchell. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we talked about Quinyon Mitchell, and he was just a first round pick. We are forgetting because Isaiah Rogers doing his thing. We know Darius Slay more than likely is going to start on the opposite side. Then you got like Cooper DeJean, the versatile guy. Then Keely Ringo is showing out in camp. And so something resurfaced on Twitter about a quote that he said during his press conference when he first got drafted to the Eagles. But let me play this clip.
Chris and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Quinyon, welcome to Philly. When it comes to play quarterback, it takes a certain type of mentality and attitude. When it comes to your things, what brings you, what motivates you, what type of attitude do you think you bring to the field?
Yeah, I feel like my whole life I've just been trying to demand respect. I mean, coming from a small town, coming from a small college, just want to demand that respect. Feel like I did that through my college career and through the pre-draft process.
I loved everything Quinyon Mitchell said, like demanding his respect, coming from a smaller school, and going through what he went through to become a first round pick in the NFL. He was projected to go between like 8 and 15, but to fall to the Eagles, still going to the first round, again coming from Toledo. And he proved a lot of people wrong. So I just decided to watch the whole interview just to re-listen because this was back in April. But he said something during the interview. It's like, maybe we got the wrong guy. Because remember, we kept saying we want Isaiah Rogers in the slot because we're biased. Like, if you're a small, or we stereotype in a way, you're the smaller corner, so you should be in the slot. And Quinyon Mitchell had this to say during his press conference.
Kind of prepared you for what you're going to face in the NFL? I mean, do you feel like you can step in and start right away, or do you think you need some time?
No, I mean, I feel like I can come in and play inside, outside. I mean, I got some vets in front of me that I can really learn from, really soak the game up for. I mean, Darius Slay, that's somebody who I model my game after, and James Bradbury. So, I mean, it don't matter where I play. I just want to help the team.
Heard him, like, you could put him anywhere, slot, outside. And I'm like, this whole time we had the wrong guy saying should he play slot, whereas though Quinyon Mitchell maybe should be the one that plays slot, because Isaiah Rogers, even he said during the interview with I believe that was the Philly Special Show, he was like, yeah, Christian Parker sat me down, asked do I want to play inside or outside. He definitely said he wanted to play outside. But Quinyon Mitchell, a rookie who got experience playing slot and who got experience playing outside. Now his numbers are phenomenal on the outside, but I believe he can play slot because he's physical. Like, let's be honest, and I think Isaiah Rogers said this. Most slot corners are like an extension of the linebacker. And if you had to think about who's the physical corner, who could get gritty, who can keep up with the smaller receiver and also hit the running back, that's Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell can do that. Now, a lot of people would be upset because we got him in the first round, later first round. And they're like, well, we don't want our first round pick playing in the slot. My thing is, I want to see our first round pick on the field. What that do with like Cooper DeJean? Like, what happens with him if we decide to go that route? Like putting Quinyon Mitchell in the slot. Cooper DeJean is going to see the field one way or another. If it's special teams, if it's just mixing them in, he's going to see the field. But the one guy I was worried about, and I hope he don't get super red shirted, is Quinyon Mitchell. But again, I went back and listened to the press conference, and that's why Vic Fangio and certain times during OTAs and dime packages, he had Quinyon Mitchell playing in the slot. Because Quinyon Mitchell is that good. You can't just leave him on the bench. You can't just waste a year. But at the same time, you have Keely Ringo. At the same time, you have Isaiah Rogers and the Darius Slays and on and on and on. You got a lot of pieces. But again, at the same time, you don't want a guy like Quinyon Mitchell sitting on the bench. So again, I love how Quinyon Mitchell talk. I love his humble demeanor. But when he speak, he's a dude that you listen to. When he speak, he's gonna drop some gems. He's gonna give you some hints about himself. He sound like a really confident dude. Like even during the OTAs, like when AJ Brown said, "Yo," when I was talking to him, he barely talked, but when he talked, yeah, it was some trash talking. Like the route was trash, this and that, trying to get an AJ Brown head. So again, Quinyon Mitchell, hopefully some way, somehow he get on the field. But I think we had the wrong guy trying to push that guy into the slot, Isaiah Rodgers. Whereas though we got a guy, Quinyon Mitchell, who is willing to do that and trying to, find some way, somehow to get on the field and who has experience doing it. We know Isaiah Rodgers had little to no experience doing it. Man, if Quinyon Mitchell, again, can find some way, somehow to get on the field at the slot, I'm rocking with it. I'm rocking with it. All right. So speaking of corners, let's talk about Darius Slay. Darius Slay, is older. He's older, and PFF put out their ranking far as, cornerbacks. So this is what PFF had to say. We might have seen a cliff for Slay as his 65.4 coverage grade marked a 3-year low, and advanced metrics looked even worse. His career long play kept him on the list, though he'll have a lot to prove in 2024. I do agree he have a lot to prove. Now, I don't think Slay is bad. I don't think this PFF ranking is good either. If I had to rank Slay, he's still in the top 15-ish. And the problem with Slay, it wasn't his coverage. He was actually like one of the bright spots last season, even with the bad coaching. My thing is, can he get physical? Do he still want to get physical? Even though Slay was never really that physical guy, even in Detroit, he's always a ball hawk and keep up with your favorite receiver. But do he still want to get physical? Because during his podcast, he's like, yo, like, I want to, have my brain. I want to spend time with my kids and stuff when it's time for me to retire. So some things he looked like a daisical for. Like he didn't want to hit. It looked like sometimes he just didn't want to hit. So remember that whole big thing between like the fans and Slay talking about like, yeah, I don't know about this and that. Like team of fans was like, yo, why he avoiding hits? Like this is the NFL. And he explained he went into it a little bit, but he's like, I'm not afraid to hit. Remember, he kept saying, I'm not afraid to. And Seth Joyner, it was a whole big thing. But Slay can play. And that's why we was on it like that. Like, yo, Slay, come on, man. And he gave us explanation and we didn't like it. That's my only thing, because you got some young bulls that hit. Keely Ringo a hit. Isaiah Rodgers a hit. Cooper DeJean a hit. Quinyon Mitchell a hit. Like, we know Bradbury ain't trying to get physical. Darius Slay trying to step back. And we talking about two dudes that can play, but at the same time, this is a young man sport. You gotta hit. Gotta hit. And that's my only thing about Slay. I think the coverage grade is like a very disrespectful. I think he could cover again, stay with your favorite receiver, lock him up, but at the same time, he's not trying to hit your favorite receiver. But what I would say about Vic Fangio, like defense in general, you don't have to have the most physical corner so he can last and still play at a high level. Now we had like a Jim Schwartz. Yeah, you got to be physical because he like man to man and all that. But a guy like Vic Fangio, you don't have to be the most physical. But when it's time, the fans and stuff, we expect it. So I think PFF is wrong on this one. I may eventually get to the deeper conversation about Slay, especially with us having a deep corner room. Like, should the Eagles really consider, like trading him if you could get anything for him? But the corner room is deep, man. It is deep. Like I just talked about Quinyon Mitchell. Like, who do you want on the bench? And it's going to either be between DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell. And Quinyon Mitchell's a first-round pick. They going to find some way, somehow to get him on the field. But then that lead Cooper DeJean not really getting any playing time on the defense. So, but that don't have to do anything with Darius Slay play. I just look at it like we're just overcrowded. We're overcrowded, and hopefully we find a way to keep Darius Slay around. But I just don't see how. But speaking of keeping a guy around, Milton Williams, yes, Milton Williams. He's in talks. He's in talks with the Eagles, getting this extension, and Eagles got to make it happen. So this is according to Jake Rabati, and it said the Eagles defensive tackle Milton Williams had preliminary discussions on the contract extension, but is unsure if one would get done before the beginning of the season. Sources tell Liberty Line, Philadelphia. Now Milton Williams will be smart to wait a little bit. His agent too. Let him play through the season. If he's having a great season, he can leverage a bigger bag if it's with us or if it's with another team, which I don't see how we rose from letting a guy like Milton Williams just walk. But it's really up to Milton Williams. If Milton Williams can have that season I believe he can have, yeah, how we would get it done. Why not? You don't have a lot of money this year on the salary cap and going into the next. Get it done. Milton Williams is a dog. I think he deserves it. A lot of people tell me he's inconsistent, but I don't see that. I just see a guy who doesn't consistently see the field for whatever reason. And yeah, man, he's our vet at 25. And I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong as far as the consistency thing, man. I think he can play at a high level. I always say I wish it could be like a real battle between him and Jordan Davis. But at the same time, Jordan Davis should thrive in the 3-4. Milton Williams is like I were Cooper DeJean on the defensive line. Could put him at edge. Could put him at 4-3, 3-4. He could do whatever. And I just like Milton Williams' story. I like his story, and I like when he's on the field. He just simply make plays, in my opinion. But hey, man, what do you think? And how do you feel about the news today? Quinyon Mitchell, yes. Should we start him in the slot? Also, is it over for Slay? Did he just fall off a cliff? I don't know. Milton Williams, but this is Eagle Al. I'm up.